The U.S. Chamber of Commerce releases the Commercial Construction Index quarterly. Dodge Data and Analytics conducts a survey of contractors nationwide about the state of the commercial construction industry. Using this research, the quarterly report serves as a barometer for the economy as a whole. Media outlets such as CNN and Architectural Digest have referenced it in their reporting. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Executive Vice President and Chief Policy Officer Neil Bradley is here to discuss the findings from Q1 2021.
It's based on three key measures. What is their current backlog, meaning how much work do they have and how long will it take them to work through that backlog of work? Second, what are their expectations about future work? Is it high? Is it medium? Is it low? Do they see the demand for their services rising or declining? And then third, of course, it all comes down to revenue. What are their expectations about revenue? Is revenue rising, staying flat, falling? We crunch the numbers across those three sectors, and it gives us an overall picture of the health of the commercial construction industry, and importantly allows us to compare quarter to quarter and provide predictions about the future. If you go back to the first quarter, the very beginning of 2020, the commercial construction industry was hot, red hot. Our index was setting new high records. The biggest problem was finding skilled workers to do the work. Of course, the pandemic changed all that, and like the rest of the economy, we saw a steep decline in work and future expectations in the spring and the summer. That began to rebound in the fall. 85% of commercial construction contractors tell us that they have a medium or high confidence in future work coming in.
Contributing $700 billion annually to the U.S. economy and employing more than 3 million people, commercial construction plays a vital role in the nation's economic rebound. It has remained an essential industry for the entirety of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The commercial construction industry is one of the crown jewels of the modern American economy. It not only provides the platform that allows commerce to happen, it provides the place that all of us go to work and to shop and to entertain and to eat. Small business owners use the Chamber's Commercial Construction Index in a variety of ways. Of course, if you happen to be a small business contractor, one of the best ways to get insights about what's happening industry-wide is to look to the index. It's also useful if you're not in the construction industry. A lot of small businesses lease and rent space. Many of them hope to own their own space at some point. There are interesting things that happen in a pandemic. We had a hard time understanding why when we went to the stores, we couldn't get paper towels or toilet paper. The pandemic disrupts supply chains and creates weird anomalies in supply and demand. And that's been true in the commercial construction sector, and in particular in the lumber sector. When the pandemic hit, we had some closures in the lumber supply chain. We had a downturn in production in anticipation that there would be less demand. But a funny thing happened. Folks wanted to improve their homes. Commercial construction continued in many ways apace because of the backlog that was already established.
The commercial construction industry has learned a lot from the pandemic. The landscape of how business will be conducted may have not only changed for the present, but for the distant future as well. The near future is looking optimistic, but the long-term impact remains up in the air. New trends are already emerging.
The pandemic accelerated a lot of changes that were already underway in how we shop, more online shopping, and how we work, more remote working and work from home. But it's also important to understand that at the height of the pandemic, it exaggerates those changes. Many Americans are anxious to get back into the office. There's going to be some marginal change, and it's quite possible that people will balance work from home with work from office. What this is going to mean immediately is that a lot of businesses are going to rethink the floor plan. We love to congregate around the water cooler and the coffee machine. I don't anticipate that communal spaces are going to go away. One of the things that we've learned in this pandemic is the importance of good ventilation systems, of scrubbers that clean the air that move through office buildings and retail locations. I think a lot of business owners are going to make investments, if they haven't already, in improving those systems. One of the interesting things that we'll be watching for at the U.S. Chamber, looking to measure in our Commercial Construction Index, is how employers, how business owners, rather than reducing their space, are reconfiguring it. For example, in the retail space, it might be that a lot of retailers devote more space to fulfilling online orders from their brick and mortar locations, or providing the curbside delivery that we've come to expect in the pandemic.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce's Commercial Construction Index for the first quarter of 2021 is now available at commercialconstructionindex.com. For additional information, visit uschamber.com or insidetheblueprint.com.